Live, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today? Welcome, everybody, to a review show with Danny Salay, aka Travel Man Dan. That is me, and oh man, I am pumped. We are going to have an awesome episode. We are going to have so much fun today. It's going to be a great time. So thanks for joining me. I'm not sure where you're watching from, but if you could just throw me down in the comments below. Let me know that you're here. Give me a wave. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're joining me, and thank you for spending this time with me here. Well, let me go ahead and put the bar stool, fix the bar stool a little bit. That's a little bit better. All right. Well, if you're new to this show and you've never seen it before, what we do is we go ahead and we review two delicious beers. We go ahead, we try one beer, we talk about a bunch of stuff in the middle, then we go ahead and we talk about some videos that came out last week on my channel and some videos that are coming up this upcoming week on my channel, all while drinking another beer. We got some cool fun sections like, well, this day in history, and we have my favorite part called what are you reading, what are you watching. And if you want to go ahead and chime in a little bit later, please do. Let me know what you're reading, let me know what you're watching. Overall, this is going to be a fun, exciting show, so sit back, relax, and get ready. Without further ado, we're getting right into the first beer. And boy, oh boy, am I excited, because all the beers we're going to be trying today. Hey, who do we got? Greg Z. What's up, my man? Hey, how we doing? How's everybody down in Orlando doing today? Greg, good to see you. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. Greg is always on the show. I wanted to shout out. Really appreciate you coming on each week, Greg. Excited. Got some fun stuff we're going to talk about and some delicious beers. Who we got? Hey, Tenacious Freak. You made it. You're exhausted. You're coming in from Denmark. And I know because you hit me up a little bit earlier. Thank you so much. I hope you got home safely. Let me tell you real quick, I was riding my bicycle in on the outskirts of Copenhagen, looking for Thomas Dambo's Trolls. And what a beautiful countryside. I was going through all the little Danish townships, and lots of fun. I know you're on your bike today. I know it was raining out there. And I believe you're right outside of Copenhagen yourself. And well, it's good to have you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. If you doze off and you pass out, no problem. I totally understand. I know you're zonked. And, well, I believe Denmark is 7 hours ahead or 7 hours before us. I'm not 100% sure. But really, thanks so much for joining me. Hey, what do you guys think of the helmet? This is my hard hat, the Buffalo Bills. If you don't know me and you're new to the channel and you're new to my kind of way of doing things, you know I'm a die-hard Buffalo Bills fan, so I had to go ahead and get a hard helmet. And well, I work in construction, so hopefully I'll be able to wear this. It is certified. It is a real construction helmet, so check that out. Okay, definitely want to make sure that when you're on site, you are wearing the proper gear. You don't want to get penalized by OSHA, but more importantly, don't want to get injured. But this is a real construction helmet, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go out there and support. Oh, okay, it is going out to Monday morning. Okay, well, dude, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us late into the hours in Denmark. I hope you're having a delicious snack like Danish. Let me tell you guys something. If you've always wondered about whether the Danish call them Danishes, they don't. But I will tell you this, and I've been all over the world. I've tried delicious sweetbreads from pretty much every continent, almost, I can't say every country, but a lot of countries, okay? And let me tell you something about Denmark. They do it the best, okay? There it is. They do it the best. They take it to another level with their pastries and their strudels, and just overall, if you ever get a chance to go to Denmark, be sure that you each morning stop in, get a coffee, get a what we call in America a Danish or a pastry, and you absolutely love it. I'm not sure, Tenacious Freak, if you're familiar. I'm sure you are. The raspberry bar is phenomenal. It's I don't even know how to explain it. It's like a wafer thin cream cheese on top of a raspberry fruit bar, and it's got a little bit of a granola crust or something, but it is amazing. I think, you know, when Starbucks goes ahead and each Christmas Hey, we got 345 in India. Baro, nice to see you. Dude, you guys, man, thank you so much. I really, really can't say that enough. Thank you, Baro. I hope you're doing good. I hope everybody is safe in India. I hope that you are, well, pleasantly waking up to no storms. COVID is subduing in India, and I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me. We're talking a little bit about the raspberry bar in Denmark. Before we even get started, I'm already on desserts, and I think Starbucks kind of ripped off Denmark. It's called Hindberschneten. Okay, yeah, I'm doing well. Good. Okay, so I don't know how to pronounce that in Danish. Baro, I'm glad you're doing well, but if you get a chance, go back to this video, check out what Tenacious Freak just wrote, Google that shit, go into Denmark and get one. They are freaking amazing. They are probably, it's up there. I haven't had them enough, but when I do have them, they're amazing. But let me get back to what Starbucks does. I think what they did is they ripped that off from Denmark, because every time around Christmas they come out with these cranberry bliss bars, and they're kind of sort of like that, but in Denmark they're raspberry, and they're a little bit better. The ones at Starbucks, I will say, are pretty good. They are definitely tasty and sweet, but that Himber Striving, whatever it is from Denmark, if you get a chance, check it out, man. It is phenomenal. It's awesome. And from what I heard, it's kind of like the national dessert in Denmark. So yeah, get yourself to Denmark, whatever you gotta do. But let's get into today's beer. Guys, I'll tell you what, we're gonna start off with this one. We're going can today, so we're not using the red bottle opener that we always use, okay? This is from the old nightclub days, but we are gonna go can. We're gonna do something sort of local. It is from a brewery that is in Paseo Robles, California, which I believe is a little bit south of Los Angeles as you kind of go into San Diego. I'm not 100% sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Californians, people from Paseo Robles. If I'm wrong, please, I'm sorry. Put it down in the comments below. Let me know where that is. I am not too familiar, but this is from the Firestone Walker Brewing Company. And guys, we are doing Firestone Fly Jack. Check this out, okay? And here is the cool thing about Fly Jack. It is only 96 calories, okay? An IPA with a low calorie count. I'm not sure if you're getting ready for the beach, if you want to go ahead and trim up your abdominal muscles, if you want to look chic and you want to look thin, look ripped, this might be something that you're interested in, because this is an IPA. So we do have this thing in the United States. I'm not sure if the rest of you guys know about this, but I'm sure Greg does. It's called Michelob Ultra, and it is low in calories, like 96 calories. But the thing about it is, it's not very strong. It's like drinking water, right? So it kind of defeats the purpose. This one here, this Firestone Fly Jack Hazy IPA, is stronger. It is 4% alcohol. Exactly. You know, I take that back. The Michelob Ultra is not bad when you want to drink like 20 beers and you're on the beach and you're playing volleyball and you're playing, you know, jumping in the water back and forth, and you're going to be out there all day. It's not bad. So this Fly Jack 96 is still below what we consider a strong beer here on the show, and it is at a 4%. But let's go ahead and crack the can opening. We are going to do the bottle, okay? And I mean, we're going to do the glass. We are going to smell it first. Ooh, it's got a bit of a piney taste. I definitely like those IPAs. Take a look at this pour. Okay, right away you can see how light colored this beer is, all right? It's like almost like a really, really yellowish eggshell colored, okay, if you will. It's got a little bit of head in it. I can tell that even though this is an IPA, it's very light because it's only 96 calories. But look at this. All right, you can literally see me through it, okay? See me over here. You can see me through this. This is one of the more lighter IPAs that you're going to see. How do the beer company like the normal beer or light beer? Well, I'm not really sure about that. The light beers, I think, are definitely lighter in calorie because of the hops, but Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. If you guys, looks like, oh dude, that organic, and I went looking for it again. That was amazing. The organic Samuel Smith was one of the best beers I've ever tasted. Not just on this show, but overall. But here we go. This is, once again, the Fly Jack. I'm not sure if the 96 is part of the title or the beer, or if they're just promoting it. But anyway, Fly Jack 96. Let's go ahead and take a swig. Almost looks like a Hefeweizen. Oh wow, that's a weird beer. All right, so even though it's a, yeah, you know what, Greg? You're right about that. Light beers have less flavor to it. And when we say flavor, we're talking about that beer bite, right? That strong kind of that beer flavor. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's like that hoppy, yeasty, barley, whatever you're drinking. But yeah, this one's not bad. One of the things I noticed about it is it's got a really strong presence of carbonation. Okay, you can definitely feel the carbonation in this one. It's light, it's refreshing, it's really not bad, and for 96 calories, I guess it is considered a light beer. They just didn't want to call it that because they're using the branding strategy of calling it still an IPA, because people identify IPAs with, well, I don't know, it's kind of like a hip, snooty, tooty, foo-foo kind of beer movement going on, but not bad. Not bad first sip. Definitely not bad, like not awful like that double Bach last week, speaking of last week. But hey, let's move in. Let's talk about some things. And I want to get right into last week's video. As we know, we are all in quarantine, and I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that while COVID is not mercifully taking over people in your country, I hope that the people directly close to you, like your family and friends, are not being affected, because I know from personal experience, it is heartbreaking. It is yeah, it just really knocks the wind out of you. You don't know how to feel, and I hope you guys are not experiencing that. I wish you the very best, and all your family and friends, and hope they are safe. COVID, are we going to get through this? I've heard some rumors that they might have some kind of vaccination, but you know, I'm very skeptical on something like that, because the thing is even though they have maybe a vaccination and it might work, like it knocks it off, there's two things I'm skeptical about, and you know, let me know how you feel about this. Let's say they go ahead and they find a cure, they find a vaccination that beats the COVID for, you know, a couple of subjects. Now, one, we don't know how long that's going to last. That could come around like the flu, and the new strand come back each and every year. We don't know what's upon us. We you know, they could go ahead and they could find that, oh, hey, we got a vaccination for this thing, but then it comes back in October, November, December, even stronger, different, you know, just like the flu each and every year. So that's my first skepticism. And my second one being, well, you know, vaccinations and things like that, they take time to develop. We still don't know, even though it might knock out COVID for the time being, we don't know what it could bring in terms of other ailments with our body. It could give us some kind of like heart tragedies, or something to do with irregular brain movements and things like this. So we are putting chemicals into our body to fight something that has grown and basically cultivated out there and cultivated now in our body, and the virus is growing, but we don't necessarily beat it, and then we don't know in quick time what's actually going to happen to us. Hope that made sense. Not going to get into it too much more, but I do wish you and your family and your friends a safe quarantine, or this pandemic that we're going through. I mean, we had some tough times in this world, and this is just one of them. There is that change with the vaccine or not. Yeah, exactly. Perfect example. You know, you can have a vaccination just like the flu shot every year. And Tenacious Freak is absolutely right. Yes, the mutation of it is something different each and every year. Sorry guys, the little helmet's itching. But it's interesting. I hope that that this thing is basically slowed down, if at the very least. I hope that we're able to get back to normal, and then mainly I hope that I'm able to get back out there and start traveling. Um, Enjoying myself. I'm definitely playing it safe, but I'm okay with, being creative, and making the pivot. The SARS killed more. Nothing was shut down. This was like saying until we find a cure for the cancer. Yeah, I mean listen. I get it too, Greg. You're absolutely right. I mean, there are some things out there that have wiped out and decimated things, and well, I don't know. Let's not make this whole show about COVID. I just hope that you guys, family and friends, are safe. Thanks again. I hope that you guys are doing well. And well, I'm not able to travel, but I'm still having a lot of fun. I'm making videos, I'm creating stuff. And to believe it or not, I can't believe it. Like, people are actually from the industry hitting me up on this stuff. They really enjoy reading Mandan. So I know it might not be your cup of tea. I know it might not be something you're super excited, but imagine you're a young kid. Yes, shut up and drink. That's right. Hey, Greg, I got you, buddy. Let's do it. Cheers. It's like there's quite a citrus flavor. It's got a nice taste to it in terms of IPA. Really refreshing, and definitely enjoying it. It's really, really light. That's what I like about this beer. Speaking of Uncle John, I don't know where the family is today. No brother Steve, no dad, and no Uncle John. They must be busy in New York. But like I was saying, we had to make a pivot. We're doing a lot more reading Mandan. I'm going to go ahead and start working on some travel ideas that I'm going to do here in the studio, because the thing is I like reading Mandan, but that's eventually going to move over to another day, and we're still going to continue to put out travel content. But if you checked out last week's video, I did a reading Mandan of a book called Dwaddle Duckling. Really funny, lots of fun stuff in there. People just don't assume that I'm going to read children's books, and that's what's kind of cool about it, because there are a lot of parents looking for content so that their kids can watch it. There's a lot of kids out there that enjoy watching different personalities, different people who are reading them books, aside from, and how do I say this without being offensive? I worked in kindergartens, first grade, second grade, all the way up until sixth grade here in the United States, and typically the teachers were middle-aged and up women. So the fact that I'm going ahead and reading kids' books, well, that's something new in itself. That's something completely different, completely new, and you like it, Barrow. Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, we got a phone call. We got Mr. Tomer Oz. You're going to have to wait for him. We'll call you back, Tomer. And which was pretty cool, because kids are able to do it. People are enjoying the video is the overall thing. And I'll definitely continue to do reading Mandan. Now I want to move on to the next thing. Happy Memorial Day to all the Americans out there. And if you don't know what Memorial Day is, it is our day tomorrow to celebrate as a national holiday for those who have served in the military, and they give the ultimate sacrifice, their life, for the freedoms that we have here in the United States. And I can't thank those people enough. It's just, I don't know what else to say, but thank you very much. I appreciate the people that had served and those who have given their life for me to be able to live in the freedoms that I have. It means the world to us. Sometimes that we go through life and we don't even pay homage to it each day, but it is truly for the fact of that. And I don't encourage war, and I don't like it at all, but it is a real thing, and soldiers, young and middle-aged up to old, have gave their life so that we can live the way that we want to live here in the United States. So happy Memorial Day to those Americans, and to those people who are watching who've had either family or friends serve in the military and who have passed away. All I can say is thank you very much. It means everything. So happy Memorial Day. I hope you're able to go and do the things that you're able to do. Those of you that are in India or in Denmark or wherever the heck you're watching from, it's just another Monday, but it's a big holiday for us. Moving on, guys. I want to talk about some things more about travel, and that is, do you guys know where the tallest men and women come from? What country are the tallest men in, and what country are the tallest women? All right, I'm gonna give you guys a quick. Well, I'll give you guys 15 seconds. If you know, go ahead and put it up there right now. I'm gonna go take a swig. All right, nobody seems to know. All right, so yes, okay, Sweden. Okay, so actually, yes, Greg is correct with one of them, and these are off of Nepal. Um, Borrow close, but I don't know about Nepal. Here's the truth of it, and this is off the census, the world census. So, the men, the tallest men in the world are from Holland. All right, the Dutch men are on average 6'2.5". So I believe that's over 190 something. I don't know what it is in centimeters, but here in the United States we measure it as 6'2.5", and that is where the average Dutch man is from. That's freaking tall, man. And then the largest, or I'm not largest, okay, the tallest women in the world come from Latvia. All right, isn't that cool, huh? Latvia is an Eastern European Baltic country, okay? Balkan, no, I'm sorry, Balkan, yeah, don't, Baltic, I'm getting tongue twisted, whatever. You know what I'm saying, the Balkans. And the tallest women in the world come from Latvia. So, Greg, you were correct with Dutch, Netherlands, Holland, but the tallest women, oh man. Seriously, yo, you're 6'4", Greg. That's pretty tall. Yeah, that's it's got to be weird, man. It's got to be weird because I'm literally right on the nose, 6 foot, and I guess people here in the United States consider me tall, but I consider myself, I guess, average maybe. But yeah, then you go over some of these other countries, 6'4" is the norm, and like those dudes are tall. And then when you see people that are like 6'6", you know, my friend Big Dog, I think he's 6'5", but he's strong and muscular. I mean, it's crazy how big these people are. And then, you know, the NBA. You ever watch NBA on television and you're like, oh, you know, everyone's kind of just about the same size, and you don't really get a perspective of how big these guys are. But man, I'm telling you, when you see an NBA player in real life, somebody over 6'9", it's like, wow, wow. I mean, you never seen anything quite like it. These guys are massive. What's the tallest person in the world that you've ever seen? I'll tell you a real quick story, as long as we're, you know, hey, it's my show, right? Tallest person I've ever seen, I was at a Goldfinger punk concert back in the early 2000s, and I go into this old like theater or whatever, and we're hanging out, we're getting beers, we've just been there a little bit, and I'm like, holy shit, man, look at that. All you see is like people, right? And then you see a head, and he's like bobbing, he's like he's floating on top of everybody, right? This giant head, and you know, I don't know, he's down by the stage or whatever. You just see his head just floating above everyone. I was like, dude, look at that guy, man. All you could see was his head because his shoulders were, you know, pretty much uncovered by everybody else, right? So he's just moving around. It's just the wackiest thing, right? I don't know. 2 hours later, go many beers. We're having a good time. Got in the mosh pit a bunch. We're having fun. We're having a good time. I'm in the urinal. I'm having a bath. I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm sitting there. And all of a sudden, I just feel to the side of me this shadow, and it's just completely covered me. And I'm drunk. I'm like, I look. Holy cow! It's you, dude. There was the guy, man. He was huge. He was huge. I'm like, holy shit, man. I know how many times you've heard this before, but how tall are you? He looks me dead in the eye at the urinal. He's like, I'm 7'7". Like, this crazy voice, man. Yes, 7. I was just like blown away, man. 7'7". The guy was massive. I did see a kid last year who was 7'2". A kid, 18-year-old Chinese kid. Playing basketball at a high school here in Los Angeles. He was recruited from China to play at what else? I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called the high school is Sierra Canyon. It's a pretty big school, pretty popular school. I believe that's where DeAndre Ayton went to school. They basically have this powerhouse of basketball superstars. But I met this Chinese kid. I think he's still there. He was like 7'2", man. Just massive, massive people. Anyway, let's get back into this Fire Jack. Yeah, it's got a bit of a sour, kind of citrusy flavor to it. Really nice. You know, not your average super powerful, pungent IPA. Really smooth. It's got a little bit of that hoppy, kind of piney taste to it. So as you're drinking it, well, you feel like you're drinking an IPA. It's got a lot of strong carbonation going on in it, but it's really actually quite crisp and clean and more of a light beer than anything. All right, let's go ahead and set that sucker down. Guys, thanks for hanging with me. I appreciate it so much. The next thing I want to talk about is the Buddy Smacker. I wasn't able to get it out on YouTube just yet, so it should be out this week. So look for that. I'll be punching and kicking with my friends. Lots of fun. I don't know if you guys were able to see that on my Facebook or on my Instagram, but if you haven't, you can check it out now. If not, wait for it. I'm going to put it up. Oh, you did. I can tell you again, Tenacious Freak, the percentage on this one is 4%, right? So it is a little bit lighter. It's not considered a strong beer by my part, but it is a little bit lighter. It's just above what an average lager. Average lagers are usually like Budweiser, Miller, things like that. They usually rank in there about 3.1, 3.2. So a little bit stronger than those two beers, but still delicious. You know, I don't feel like it's gonna knock you out. But the cool thing about that one is it's light in calories. It's also light in flavors. So you can drink tons of them. You could probably whack down a good 12 of them. Carlsberg is 4.6. Yeah, dude, I love Carlsberg. The one thing I was pissed about when I was in Denmark is the Carlsberg. The whole factory brewery had shut down, so I wasn't able to take the tour. But maybe another day. Anyway, so what I was talking about is the Buddy Smacker. Check out the Buddy Smacker. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go into that video and I'm gonna give it a little bit of commentary. And I'm gonna talk about each and every person that was a part of it, and it's really fun because you're gonna see some really cool stunt people, some really super uber talented people that are on this video, people that have worked on huge blockbuster movies that you've seen, such as Wonder Woman and Star Wars and a bunch of Jackie Chan films. And these are my friends. And this Buddy Smacker video, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay out a little bit of commentary and talk about it. So look for that to come out next week. I'm really excited about people seeing that one because that was fun for me. It was a lot of my friends. And, well, you'll be able to see it soon. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is we're going to get into Michael Jordan. Has anyone seen The Last Dance? Who's seen The Last Dance? Are you guys into that? I keep hearing about it. I keep hearing what a great documentary is. I heard it's fantastic. People really are liking it. It's 10 episodes of Michael Jordan and his life with the Bulls and growing up as an impressionable high school, I guess even junior middle school, who was an athlete himself. I didn't play basketball. I didn't play organized basketball. It was just something that, I don't know, it kind of took away time to and just play more football, but really cool. I haven't seen that documentary. I'm really looking forward to it, but the debate will continue between who is the greatest ever. Is it Michael Jordan? Is it LeBron? And I want to hear your thoughts on it. I want to hear you weigh in on this subject because me and my friend always get into this, and he's a little bit younger than me. He's about 10 years younger than me, so I always feel like right now the whole nostalgic feeling of Michael Jordan, okay? He was the greatest ever, Jordan without any doubts. Okay, Greg, you know what? I can't argue with that, right? Obviously, up until a year or two ago, we were never even having this discussion. But as LeBron started passing some of these things, some of these records, well, it became more and more prevalent that LeBron was better than Jordan. And I could see that there's a case for it because what LeBron did with what he had. Like LeBron went to the NBA Finals something like 8 years in a row or something. Was it ridiculous like that? But with like Matthew Dellavedova as his point guard and like these crazy Cavalier teams that were brutal. So I definitely can see that. But the whole thing is this: the times were a lot different. Basketball was really, really different back when Michael Jordan played. Much like people that compare Mickey Mantle and any other age-old baseball player to the current player. Now it's okay if a player strikes out 200 times as long as he's hitting 45 home runs. You don't know anything about basketball, but, well, maybe, you know what, Tenacious Freak, this is probably good for you then. You should probably watch that documentary. It's called The Last Dance. It's a 10-part, 1 hour each episode of Michael Jordan's kind of career and arc or whatever. I think they get into like episode 4 and 5 where they talk about Dennis Rodman. And you got to remember, late 80s, early 90s, all the 90s, Michael Jordan basically started this marketing movement, right? Before Michael Jordan, there was nothing like it is today. But the whole Gatorade and Be Like Mike and Air Jordan, all these players that are now reaping these benefits of these $1 million contracts, from shoes to water to watches and sports equipment and those weird sleeves that they owe it all to Michael Jordan. The man was ahead of his time in terms of social media and marketing off of the court. On the court it's a different thing. The guy was unbelievably tenacious, super skilled. Yeah, you just can't say enough. Probably the greatest ever. If I had to put my money on it, although I do think it's very close. I think it's very close when you look at the argument of what LeBron does. See, here's the thing about, I would put it on Michael Jordan. I would put my money on Michael Jordan, but I'm going to finish that. But here's the thing with LeBron, is a lot of people either like LeBron or hate LeBron because of how active he is in the front line of social media and like social justice things and like all kinds of things. People will literally hate him as a basketball player because of his standpoint as a man. And I do believe that's unwarranted, because if you separate the two, they really have nothing to do with each other. If we just go basketball on basketball, well, it's quite different. And then, we don't know what Michael Jordan would have been like if he had Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and what's the new one that everyone likes, TikTok. We don't know what Michael Jordan would have been. He could have been, much even bigger than what LeBron is, because that outlet to go ahead and to give each and every one of us, like myself and like you guys, an opinion and be able to put it out there on social media would definitely have kind of spun him around and put him even higher than what he was. But he had to do it the old traditional way, through national media and through, well, back then it was like SportsCenter was the only one. Jordan days, forget the older guys because of class. Yeah, it was a different, but it was also a different game, right? So this discussion could go on and on. Hey, Chris, what's up, my man? You are a Buffalonian. You enjoy this? Hey, I say Buffalo. You say. Hey. But yeah, it's a different game, right? Back in the day, it was all drive it down, and the big center, Akeem the Dream, right, was there posting up. But now it's shoot it out to the 3-point line and get a bucket from way downtown. Much different game. Man, it's a discussion that will go on for a long time. And then you throw in a couple other players. Anyway, let's get back to the beer. Guys, we are drinking this one right here. We are drinking Fly Jack, 96 calories. It is from Firestone Walker Brewery. Smooth. Very smooth, citrusy. It's got a lemon flavor, very light, not your average IPA. Very light, as in 96 calories light, but delicious, really. I could see this beer going down, on ice. Put a bunch of cans on ice and you're golden, man. This is really good stuff, because it's got, well, not as strong as Carlsberg at a 4.6, but it's definitely got a really good flavor to it. And if you're looking for kind of a citrusy, kind of refreshing, clean, light summer IPA, this is definitely one to look forward to and try out and give it a shot because it's not bad. And that's why I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give this Fly Jack, I'm gonna give this from Firestone Walker, I'm gonna give it a score of 8. That's right, a solid 8. Really good score, delicious beer. Will be trying it again. You can buy it in the 12 pack of Firestone Walker here in the United States. But yeah, definitely. And yeah, beer before glory. I just read that's what it says. Now, best part of the show, the second beer. All right, so let's get into the second beer. Staying with the same brewing company, 4.0 is not a light. It's not. So, what do you consider a light beer in Denmark? Because, yeah, I guess you're probably light. But that's what I'm saying. That's what makes this Fly Jack 96 a weird beer because 96 calories. It is a light beer, but it's not super light. It's still an IPA. And after drinking only one of them, I can definitely feel the little cheeky. I can feel like I'm definitely getting a little buzz from it. So, well, although it's not considered your traditional light beer, I think like Miller Lite or Bud Light or Coors Light, they're down in the 3%. But yeah. Hey, real quick, Tenacious Freak, I know you know this since it's right here. Check this out. You guys ever drink this one? Danish schnapps. All right. This one was, I bought this one in Denmark. Really good stuff. I'm saving it for a special occasion, but really good stuff. Danish schnapps is good. Oh yeah, that's pretty, what? 0.0%. Yeah, that's super light. That's like non-alcoholic. Hey guys, that reminds me. One of these days, Greg Z, I'm not sure if you'll join me for the whole episode, but one of these days I'm going to do some non-alcoholic reviews. How did you guys like that? A non-alcoholic review. Anyway, back to the second beer. Guys, this is what we're doing. Mind Haze IPA. This one is a little bit stronger. The Mind Haze, really cool can. Kind of gives it that kind of smoky, kind of cool, fantasy look. I feel like, well, even though it shows mountains, but I definitely feel like if you took away the Mind Haze IPA, you could put like a wolf there. You know those t-shirts now the hipsters wear, but it used to be really cool amongst aunts and grandmas and people at comic book conventions. Well, that's what this label kind of reminds me of. But this is the Mind Haze IPA by Firestone Walker. It is a stronger beer. It is a 6.2%. Okay, so that's pretty good. First crack of the can. Okay, all right, nice pine aroma. It's got that strong whiff of an IPA. And let's see, I'm guessing on the pour, it's going to be definitely darker than the last Fly Jack, but it's not going to be as black as a Guinness or a Stout or whatever. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere in between, almost like an amber color. Let's take a look. Ooh, not really at all. I am busted, guys. This is, wow, it's almost the same color as the Fly Jack 96. It's light, and it is, well, it kind of reminds me of a Hefeweizen again. I don't know why. I must have that word on my tongue, and I enjoy saying it on the show. But check it out. It's definitely got a smokier feeling. Okay, so look. This one is thicker. It looks good, right? Yes. Tenacious Freak, man. I'm coming to Denmark again. We're gonna have a beer, but yeah, this one is definitely thicker. It's almost like a mead. Okay, you can't see me through it. It's got a bit of a cloudy feeling to it, and not a heavy pour, not a heavy head. Okay, not super carbonated. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Oh, all right. Oh, really sweet. All right, so the Mind Haze is very, very sweet. Okay, not bad at all. First sip, enjoyable. Definitely an IPA. But what's strange and what throws me off a lot is, typically speaking, IPAs are more of a brown and reddish ale kind of look to them. But this one has got that cloudy, almost lemon color. Now, this particular Mind Haze IPA doesn't have a very citric feel to it. Doesn't have that kind of refreshing, cool taste to it. It has kind of that, well, that piney, aromatic flavor of strong hops that IPA bring, and that are usually associated with a really dark ale, but not this one. So I'm not sure what they did to it. Let's go and see a little investigation on the can and see if we can't see any marketing scheme. And there isn't. That's pretty cool. All right. So only thing is, it tells you a little bit about where the company is from. And if you're not familiar with Firestone Walker, they are in Paseo Robles, California. And then it tells you where you can go ahead and drop it off of for deposit money. Okay, beer before glory is their motto. Check that out. I don't know if you can see that. Beer before glory. All right, guys, so we're reeling into the second half of the show. Thanks a lot for joining me so far. I think we still have Barrow. I think we have Greg Z. I think we have Tenacious Freak. And I think we have the artist, the Messiah, Chris Marani. And Chris Marani is here. If you don't know about Chris Marani, he is the artist that created the Travel Man Dan coloring book that should be coming out this fall. I've had to postpone it due to publications and due to some things with the coronavirus. Publishers, well, they're just not working in full effect right now. So, well, Chris got me these really badass photos that he hand drew, and we're gonna go and roll out this awesome coloring book that, well, your donation will help. Let me start over again. Your donation will not only get you a coloring book, but it'll also help fund some children in need of educational supplies all around the world. So just to break it down to you, as long as Chris is here, let's say you go ahead and you buy a coloring book for $20, and I split the cost. $10 over here, $10 over here. I'm not trying to make any money off it. Just basically this $10 will cover the cost, and this $10 will help me. Does it come with crayons? No, it doesn't, but I'm sure you can get some. This $10 will help with travel expenses for me and one other person to fly to another country. This $10 over here will go ahead and formulate and pile up, and then I'll be able to give a check to people. Let's say I go to Barrow's hometown in India, and I say, hey, Barrow, listen, connect me with the poorest school you got, and they need school supplies. Well, thanks to you guys for purchasing this coloring book, now I'm able to go to India. I'm able to go to a school. I'll do a lesson because I was a teacher and I love it, and I will give a school, to say on the low end, $2,000. Now, $2,000 here in California won't get you one laptop for a fifth grader, but $2,000 in India, in some small little country, might get the entire classroom, pencils, paper, books, all kinds of cool stuff. And the really fun thing about it is you'll be able to go ahead and watch where your donation goes. So as you purchase the $20 coloring book, you'll get the coloring book, and then later you'll be able to watch it in an episode of Travel Man Dan. So I'm really looking forward to that. Give me a shout out. Chris Marani, the artist, the guy who actually drew all of the artwork, is here watching live. So Chris, thank you so much. It was a thing that I kind of envisioned, I saw, and I wanted to create it. I wanted to use my platform as well as whatever I am, a YouTuber, an actor, whatever you want to call it, a host. And I wanted to go ahead and, like I said, I'm not making any money off this. I'm just doing it to go and help and use my platform to reach out and to help people. So look for that. It's coming out hopefully in September or October. And hopefully you'll be able to go ahead and join in and get a donation going so that you can get a coloring book and you can help out and you can watch some really fun episodes. But now I want to go into next week's video. Guys, next week's video is going to be really fun for me. It's a bit of a challenge. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you, thank you, Chris. It's going to be something that I'm going to be Barrow. It's going to be something that I'm a little nervous about, to be honest with you. It's going to be secret menus. I'm going to go and do the secret menu at Burger King. And now look, I'm not going to get into this too much. You guys know me. I'm very blue collar. I don't get into it too deep. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the secret menu at Burger King. And they have a burger there that is basically 4 patties, 4 pieces of cheese, and a couple strips of bacon. And although you can ask for it that way, it is known that on the secret menu all over the internet, whatever, and through people word of mouth, whatever, they call it the suicide burger. Now here's the thing. Now this is where I'm telling you I'm a little scared. It's a little difficult, and it's something that I'm getting into that, well, I don't know too much about. So maybe you can get behind me if you believe it. But I want to go ahead and go into a video, and fun, cool burgers, everything. But I want to try to get Burger King to rename that secret menu item to something else. Maybe they call it, I don't know, the devastating burger or the massive burger. But really, I think that's a dumbass name. I think it's stupid, and I don't think it's cool at all to call it the suicide burger, because I know personally for me, I've been affected by it, friends, family, and I think maybe each and every one of you guys, whether you're watching this live or you're watching it on the replay, would completely understand that the word suicide is nothing to joke about, because for some people it's very, very real, right? Whether they've been affected directly or indirectly, or something that might come of it. And there's no real connection between a cheeseburger and the word suicide, or what it means behind it. So basically, I'm going to be doing next week's video at Burger King. We're going to be trying out that burger, and I'm going to go ahead and try to petition Burger King to go and change it. I know, it's not a good term. And to be honest with you, I'm not really one of those people that are new school, kind of offended by everything, this kind of thing. But when you think about it, and you're not trying to, puff up around people, and you're not trying to like be strong about it and whatever, and say, oh, this, that, and the other. And when you really think about it alone, is there really a word that there's no benefit for suicide in burgers or suicide in chicken wings? Because those that have been affected by suicide know how real this thing is, and it really it's just stupid, right? So the fact that they can change that name to something really cool and something different that has nothing to do with suicide, which is very, very serious, okay, is the most serious, and can alter people's lives. It's a no-brainer. It's a layup. It's a very easy thing to change, right? You're not like asking for much, and I don't think that I'm being too kind of I don't know, you know what I'm talking about, new school, offensive. So that's what we're doing. I'm not gonna go into it any bit. I hope that you guys can get behind me. Check out that video. I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna write Burger King a letter and say, look, hey, can you just change the name? That's it. Whether or not they listen to me, that's up to them. I hope they do. I hope they understand the seriousness of this and how it affects people. And I think over time, I think that just changing the name, it kind of makes life, it's not gonna be a monumental change, but it just makes it a little bit better, right? There's no need for it. So that's just my, it's not a burger on the menu. It's a burger on the secret menu. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people may think it's cool and it's funny and whatever, and it's cliche. And maybe at one point I even thought the same thing, right? Until it actually affects you. Until you have family or friends that actually do suicide, So that's a very serious thing. So hopefully that I can go ahead and make a video and bring some awareness to this. Maybe Burger King will come around on it, and I'm sure people will laugh at me, or I'm sure people will say that, hey, I don't think that's warranted. But you know what? Why not? It's worth a shot, because when you're comparing hamburgers to suicide, it's really, come on, let's, yeah, I know. Yeah, the secret menus are these things in the United States, and because I'm in quarantine, I can go through a lot of drive-through still, and I can go through a lot of fast food drive-throughs. So I've been doing secret menus. To be honest with you, they're really fun. They're interesting. They're a good time for me, because it's a lot of stuff. Like, you're gonna see, I'm gonna do the McDonald's one, and they have this one. I don't know if I should tell you guys or not. It's called the Land, Sea, and Air Burger. Screw it, I'm telling you. And the Land, Sea, and Air Burger is it's a chicken burger on top of a hamburger on top of a fish fillet. And we're looking forward to that episode. I'll be sure to go ahead and show you. But there's lots of other different secret menu items. I'm trying to make the best of Food Friday during quarantine, so we're doing these ones. I would do small business, and I definitely promote small businesses and help them out as much as I can. But here's the thing. I'm not going to go to these small businesses and ask for it to go a takeout and they give me a stupid styrofoam thing with their food in it, and it just doesn't give them a good presentation. Because being a small business, the whole thing is about the experience, about the cool. This thing is different. This isn't a Denny's. This isn't a mega conglomerate Red Lobster or Olive Garden. This is the mom and pop Joe's Pizza. You know, and I don't want to get in a styrofoam thing and eat it in my car, so I do the fast food secret menus. So look for that one. I'm going to go ahead and try to do the best I can to get Burger King to change their secret menu item, the Suicide Burger, to something like Quadzilla or Super Burger or something, anything. There's no need for that word, and it's not fun to go along with cheeseburgers. At this time, now let's go back to the beer, because we've been doing a lot of chit-chatting. All right, still a smoky yellow, delicious IPA. It's hazy, a real burger. That's right. Oh, that's good. That is good. There's nothing like when you drink an IPA and you get that little nip at the end, right? It's like, obviously you can't be like in a bar in front of people and stuff, but you know what I'm talking about. You drink it and it's got that little bit of kick to it, that little bit of nip, and you're holding it back. You know you want to make a face. You know you want to do something like that, but you're holding back, you're holding it down deep inside, and it's delicious. And that's what this beer really brings to the table. It's good because you feel like you're drinking a light beer, but you're not. You're drinking a super good IPA. All right, guys, now we're going to roll into this day in history. This day in history is a fun little segment where I go ahead and tell you what happened on this day over the last couple hundred years. Now, I'm not a history professor, I'm not a history buff. I just like to go ahead and make conversation and talk about important events, important things that happen on this particular day. I look like all the time people would never, I look like that all the Greg, I'm not sure I know what that means. I look like all the time people would know. I don't know what that means. But this day in history, like I said, let's roll it out. So here it goes. Today is what? Today is May 24th, right? May 24th in 1830. The song Mary Had a Little Lamb came out. It was by Sarah Joseph Howe. Josepha Howe. And was first published by a Boston firm. Okay? It was Marsh, Capon, and Lyon. And is based in really off of a real woman named Mary Elizabeth Sawyer, who was a farmer and who was walking through the farm one time, and she had this specific thing going on where she saw a baby lamb, and then boom, it was born. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a... All right. When you were making those faces, I look like that all the time, so people... Greg, man, you are awesome, dude. Yeah, you are awesome. Yeah, remember, who remembers, I'm sure you guys that are foreigners, I probably wouldn't, and I speak foreigner being because I'm from the United States, but who remembers the Keystone Light bitter beer face? It was like this crazy old man, and he'd be able to stretch his lip like up to his nose, and it was a big campaign, and it was pretty funny stuff, but all right, so that's what happened in 1830. On this 1883, the Brooklyn, late 80s, that's right, the strongest beer you ever taste. Tyrant Major. No, that definitely gets me pumped up, guy. All right, so I'm always looking for a strong beer. I think the strongest beer that I've ever had was probably from Belgium, and I think it was this weird little gnome. It wasn't Duvel, it was like Le Chouffe, and it was powerful. It was like 10%, and me and my buddy Jimmy were slamming it down in Shanghai, and we were having a good old time. I think I drank 3 of them. Don't remember much after that, to be honest with you. It was an amazing time. Loved those days. Young Kung Lu, Shanghai, China. Oh, it was so much fun. But back to this day in history. This day in history, on May 24th, 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge finally opened. It was designed by the late John A. Roebling. Okay, he was the Brooklyn Bridge at that time was the largest expansion bridge ever. A suspension bridge. I'm sorry, it was the largest suspension bridge ever built to date. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And that happened in 1883 on this day. On this day in 1915, Thomas Edison, he created the transcribe. Okay, and if you don't know what that was, it was basically like he was able to record telephone messages, and so using something with the phonograph and whatever, it made each one better between the telephone and the phonograph. But Thomas Edison invented the telescribe on this day in 1915. On this day, May 24th, 1935, the first Major League Baseball game at night happened. That's right, it was in Cincinnati, Ohio, where the Reds beat the Phillies 2-1. That's right, 2-1, and it was the first night game ever. So, how amazing is that? Definitely love me some baseball. As you know, I played baseball for many years. I was 25 years, and I won the College World Series. And yeah, it was just, gotta always throw in some little baseball trivia. On this day, on May 24th, 1974, the Dean Martin Show aired its last show. It went on for 9 seasons, and well, if you know the Dean Martin Show, then you know how popular it was at the time. It was like this variety show, and it was a fun. Did I say okay? I'm sorry, 1974. On this day in history, 1974, the Dean Martin Show aired its last show, and it was a cool, and it was popular at the time. You know, you had probably the Ed Sullivan Show and a couple other variety shows where bands would come on, comedians, acts, things like that. Much like you see today, but just, I guess what I want to say is Dean Martin kind of really ran the show, and he was such a cool host because he was such a successful singer. And he was successful later in his life. He didn't make it until he was later. His music was awesome. You might recognize him from all the, Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra music and all that kind of beautiful standards. I mean, Dean Martin's voice is incredible. But his show went on for 9 seasons. It was like 260 some episodes. But on this day, in 1974, was the last aired show. On this day, in 1993, Star Trek episode Second Chances airs a guest starring of Mae Jemison. She was the first real astronaut to be on the show. How cool is that, right? Because you have this huge, mega, super popular sci-fi TV show, but yet all these people are actors, and all these actors are carrying out stories that, well, we don't know if they're real or if they're fake or whatever, but Mae Jemison was the first real astronaut, and really cool is she was a woman of color, and she broke that barrier not only for being the first on Star Trek, but kind of a pioneer in her time. And well, congratulations on this day in history. That's what happened. Hope you guys found that interesting. You can go ahead and watch this on the playback, and then go ahead and Google it and find out more. But always like this segment, always enjoy it. But one thing I always really like enjoying is the beer. Hey guy, who's with me? We're sipping away. Don't have any of my family members today. No brother Steve, no dad, and no Uncle John. But I'll be sure that they'll go ahead and join us. But let's go ahead and take another swig of this delicious beer. Oh, that's nice. This is the Firestone Walker Hazy Mind Haze. I'm sorry, I keep calling it hazy. That was the other beer. Mind Haze IPA. Delicious beer. And the Firestone Walker, well, you can get it here in California in a 12-pack, so hopefully you can get it to wherever you are if you're in the United States in a 12-pack, because there's 2 other beers that we're going to do probably next week, or we might go back into doing some more of the Sierra Nevadas, but we'll go ahead and leave that a cliffhanger. Now I'd like to bring in the segment, what are you reading? What are you watching? What am I reading? Guys, I like this book so much, I'm reading it again. Not from 2 weeks ago, but I'm chapter 3, and we are reading The Chronicles of Narnia. Awesome story, C.S. Lewis, the author, just really great stuff. I just finished up The Magic's Nephew, and then The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then we are at The Horse and His Boy. It is the 3rd book of the 7-part series of The Chronicles of Narnia. I just love this book. I know it's, what is it? It's almost 700 pages, thick book. Second time reading it. Love all the story. I love the things when you read something again that you missed out on the first time. Really enjoyable. I love all the language they use in this book. I love all the story. I love that it's like a fairy tale, but it's fantasy, and it's well, it holds up over time. So brilliant job by C.S. Lewis, and that's what I am going ahead and reading. What am I watching? Oh, and by the way, if you want to ever go ahead after this video is done, go ahead and put in the comments below. Just tell me this is what I'm reading, this is what I'm watching, because I'm always looking for recommendations. Also, not to mention, if you ever get a chance, tell me what kind of beers you want to see here on the weekly beer and video review show. Love to hear from you. Those kinds of things mean the world to me, because I love to hear what you guys want to see, and then I go ahead and bring them on the show, and then it's like a double duty, and then we have a good time. I go ahead and review it. But yeah, the Chronicles of Narnia. Let me know what you're reading. What am I watching? I like to read books, my hobby too. Yeah, Byro, what's your favorite book, man? You got any recommendations? I can't read any Indian language, but if you can recommend any good book, put it down in the comments and let me know. What am I watching? Oh, this is pretty funny. You gotta laugh, all right? I know you're gonna. Travel Man Dan's all over the place, right? So, you know, I like reading kids' books, and I have no children of my own. I'm not married, but I do a lot of voiceover. I'm sorry, I don't do a lot of voiceover. I'm training now as a voiceover actor. I go to school for it, and I'm really working diligently at it. I've done a couple of video games in the past, but I'm really working hard at becoming a voiceover actor. So I've been watching a lot of cartoons, and if you go on Netflix, you can check out What's New Scooby-Doo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but Netflix has now got What's New Scooby-Doo, and it is fantastic. The animation on it is brilliant. I think it's from the late 90s, early 2000s. But when I watch cartoons now, it's a totally different thing than when I watch cartoons as a kid or as a young child and stuff like that. When I watch cartoons now, I watch it with purpose and intention, because I like to listen to the voice actor, and I like to listen to the actor going ahead and playing each character, whether it be Freddy or Scooby or Shag. You know, these are really, really fine-tuned professional voiceover actors. And for me as an actor, well, I like to go ahead and kind of just listen and watch cartoons with the intention of, like, look, I'm going to get there one day. I'm going to go ahead and they're going to make a cartoon and I'm going to be the voice of it. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's what I'm watching. It's on Netflix. It's called What's New Scooby-Doo. I know it seems ridiculous. I know it seems silly, but hey, if you're into voiceover acting like I am, well, you got to watch cartoons. You got to play video games. You have to do this stuff. It's like when actors have to know their craft, they have to know who they're going to work with and what actor's working on what. Just the same as a voiceover actor, you have to know the cartoons, you have to know the pace of certain things. If I get an audition for a certain cartoon, well, let's say the Rick and Morty pace is much different than South Park, so you have to know how to read things. So I suggest reading and watching a lot of cartoons. But hey, that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm watching. Let me know down in the comments below what you're reading, what you're watching. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad you understand. You know, it's all about the work and the craft. You just got to keep at it, you know. If I can get one or two really good things in my life. And for me personally, when I look back on it, and I've worked with Jackie Chan, and I've worked with some major film stars like John Cusack and Adrian Brody, I'd be happy if I walked away today, but I want to get better, and if that takes longer, it takes longer. But it's what you do with that time as length goes on. You have to get better, whether it be voice actor, acting, host, whatever. You have to continue to work on it. So thanks, Chris. I appreciate you. Let's go back. Let's give a last swig of this Mind Haze IPA. Then I'm going to leave you with the quote of the week, of the day, or whatever you want to think, and we're going to end the show. Juicy. That's all I gotta say. It's like juicy fruit going on in your mouth. It's like fruit stripe. It's like, well, I thought before the other one was more citrusy, but this one has got more of a hoppy kind of IPA traditional flavor to it. But as you get to the bottom of it, maybe it's something to do with how warm it gets. It gets a little bit fruitier, if you will. It tastes delicious, really nice flavor. I'm not gonna give it as high a score as I did the Fly Jack, but I will give it a 7.5. Will I drink some more? Yeah, probably as soon as this video is over, I'm gonna grab one more of each just to make sure that my score was all right. So I'm gonna give this Mind Haze IPA a 7.5. 7.5, not bad. We gave the Fly Jack an 8. Really delicious beers. Like I said, this is from Firestone Walker Brewery. If you get a chance, they're in Paseo Robles. You can check it out. I'm not sure if that's Northern or Southern California. I guess I probably should have looked on a map. But hey, I just grabbed a beer, I drink it, I tell you what it tastes like. Hopefully you're inspired to try it out for yourself. Let's not complicate things. Who the hell am I, right? You know, so yeah, hope you enjoyed it. That's what we did, the Mind Haze IPA and the Fly Jack with 96. That's very confusing that they put that in red. I don't know if that's part of the title. But really delicious. Looking forward to sucking back some more of those things. Guys, I want to say thanks a lot. Whoever just stayed with me the whole time. Okay. I cannot read Hindi, but I'm sure it is. I have some cool books around here that are of India. Greg, see you later. Homie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're the best, man. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to close this thing out with the quote of the week or the day. And here it is from the author of the book that I'm reading. This was brought to us by C.S. Lewis. And C.S. Lewis said, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream another dream." Think about that. You're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. I don't care if you're middle-aged like myself. I don't care if you're 18 years old. And I don't care if you're 62. Whatever it is that you want to do, you're never too old. Good night, Tenacious Freak. Thank you so much for joining me. My man, you're the best, dude. Thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope... Tony! Yes, man, guys, I thank you so much for joining me. I really have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. Happy Memorial Day, Tone, Greg, those of you from around the world. Listen, the word I'm going to tell you is the quote of the week. And you're never too old to set a new goal or live a new dream. And that is so true no matter where you're at in your life, how old you are, or what's going on. Whether you want to be a doctor or a dentist. Why the hell would you want to be a dentist? But I don't know. Whether or not you want to be that. Okay. Whether or not you want to be a painter or you want to be a sculptor. Okay. We're not talking about on a scale of like I need to be super famous painter out in the city of New York and be in the gallery. What? Fearless act. Become the master. Accomplish the role. Chris, pound it. Thank you, sir. Yes, that's it, man. Whether or not you want to be a voiceover artist, an actor, it doesn't matter what your new dream or new goal is. You're never too old. So I'm going to tell you, whether it's you want to do 100 push-ups, or whether you want to visit somewhere, or you want to make something, or you want to write something, do it. You're never too old. Don't listen to those people, because those people that put doubt into you and they're just going through the everyday cycle of life. They really have no intention of you ever becoming your full potential. And what your full potential is the master of what your life is. That is the most important thing to you. It has nothing to do with them. So I'm telling you, you're never too old to become anything that you ever want to be. Just do it, start it. If it takes a long time, that's okay. Doesn't mean you're going to be on the most grand scale, making the most money. You will be doing it. Whether or not you, let's say painting. Or maybe you start painting. You want to always start a painting. Maybe you were a tough guy and you always wanted to be a painter, but you always were afraid. Maybe you start when you're 85 years old. It doesn't matter. You can still do it. You still have time. As long as you're alive, you're in the game. And please, I beg you, just go ahead and fulfill those things. I'm going to tell you about a real quick story. There was a guy I worked with in China. He was like 89 years old. That's awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about, Greg. You did artwork with metal. Maybe your dream was to work with metal and you wanted to be some kind of sculptor with metal, but you never knew how to, and you never knew that you could do that, or you never had the courage. Listen, guys, if you're catching this live or if you're watching it later, you do have the resources. You can do this. You just have to put one foot in front of the other and go. Just start. Just start doing. There's enough things out there, whether it be from the computer or people or whatever. There's enough encouraging people. Those naysayers, the people that don't say, oh, you shouldn't do that. You're way beyond that. Get rid of them. They're toxic. They may be in your life for something other than that, but as far as encouraging, they're toxic. You have enough time. As long as you're alive, continue to strive. Do the things that you love to do. I was used to work with this guy. He was 89. Dude, Greg, awesome. High five that. That is, yeah, one step at a time. That's it. You're not going to make it overnight. I worked with this guy. He was 89 years old. He always wanted to be a runway model in China. He didn't start doing it until he was like 7 years old. I got to tell you guys that story. I'm going to save it for next week. Thank you so much. One last time from C.S. Lewis. You're never old enough to set a new goal or to live a new dream. Go after it, guys. You're here. You're alive. You have so much capability. You're just as you are. You're just enough as it is. And please, thank you so much. Who do we got? Cry Joe 2. What's up? Unfortunately, Cry Joe 2, we are out of beer. The show has ended. We thank you for joining us at the last part. Thank you, everybody. I had some great people here with me. Tony Zarcone is one of my oldest friends. Ah, shoot. We had Tenacious Freak, we had Greg, we had Barrow. Who else am I missing? Who else did we have on the show? Guys, thank you so much for hopping on, joining me. We had so much fun. Thank you so much. I'm Travel Man Dan. I love the Buffalo Bills. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it.